Next up is the Daily Mail, Paul.
Yeah, shocking rise of something for nothing Britain. Well, you know, it doesn't sit comfortably with this to me. I mean, it's interesting that it's in the Daily Mail, but this should be of no surprise. This headline assumes we've forgotten the last 3 years. One of the reasons we find ourselves reliant on the state as much as we do is because we were asked to for years on end.
But this story is about, over half of households, for the first time ever in Britain, over half of households are dependent on the state. This is, I mean, it's shocking. 36 million people now claim more in benefits than they pay in tax. I mean, I don't know why you'd claim in benefits and be paying tax. It seems like...
It's interesting, yeah.
It seems weird to me. How about we just pay less tax and then claim less benefits?
Well, it's working tax credits, and the idea is to keep people in employment, paying some tax and get some money back from the government.
But it just seems robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Well, also,
robbing Peter to pay Peter.
And also utilising the NHS and all the other costs and all the other benefits that you get from living in a country that pays for, you know, the government pays for these things.
Well, I mean, the trouble is the government isn't paying for it. It's a lot of high-earning taxpayers are paying for it. So the top 10% of earners account for 53% of all income tax. So if tax goes up, those people could leave, and then, you know, who's going to pay for all our allegedly free stuff?
I sit in the middle on this. I'm kind of glad that people can. We've created this situation though. This all goes back to COVID. It all goes back to our reaction to COVID, not just us in the UK, the Western reaction to COVID, and as a result, more people lost their jobs. Yeah, and have not been able to find their way back into work because it's been followed swiftly by a cost of living crisis, in which people aren't employing anybody.
I'd say actually the problem goes pre-COVID. I think
British people have been quite lazy for a while.
I mean,
I agree with you, Josh.
It's not
that's what Josh was saying.
No, you know what? I think that there is a balance to be had, and yes, but why do people who are super rich pay more taxes? The idea is that to live in a economy where they can earn that money in the first place and live a good life, and we have social coherency.
I don't think taxing people to pay for an equality, diversity and inclusion department means that...
I'm not saying that money's all been spent well.
None of it is.
No, that's not true. Some of it is. No, some of it is on the NHS. It's absolutely spent well, but not all of it. And I agree with you, there's still... You know, look, I'm someone who's recently flipped from paying now more tax than I obviously was getting back from being on tax credits and actually paying that tax. I'm glad to do so. I'm grateful now. Finally, I feel less guilty. Yeah. And I want to be. But what I want
to pull that ladder up behind you.
Don't you? What I want to ensure is that money now, that surplus money that I'm putting back into the system,
is spent well.
Is spent well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Great.